Pramata Padam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Usha Adyavati, Mataji, Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji.
Nagana.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Tantu Krintana Yannastvam Abhadram Machara Punaha Tasmal Lokeshu Te Mudha Na Bhaved Brahmata Patam. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Surya Prakash Rao, Prabhuji.
I will write the next verse, Mataji.
All right. All right, so all of you just keep your hands raised. We recite the next verse. Tanto krintana yannastvam abhadram achara puna tasma lokeshu te mudha na bhave brahmata padam. Tanto krintana, O mischief monger who have mercilessly separated my sons from me. Yat which naha unto us. Tvam you abhadram, an auspicious thing, achara, have done, puna again, tasmat, therefore, lokeshu, in all planetary systems within the universe, te of you, mudha, or rascal, not knowing how to act, na not bhavet, there may be brahmata, who are wandering padam and abode. Translation by His Divine Grace Prabhupada ki jai. You have made me lose my sons once, and now you have again done the same inauspicious thing. Therefore, you are a rascal who does not know how to behave toward others. You may travel all over the universe, but I curse you to have no residence anywhere. It's a very epic translation, puppet. Epic puppet. Puppet by His Divine Grace Prabhupada ki jai. Because Prajapati Daksha was a Grahamedi who wanted to remain in household life, he thought that if Narad Muni could not remain in one place, but had to travel all over the world, that would be a great punishment for him. Actually, however, such a punishment is a boon for a preacher. A preacher is known as Parivragacharya, an acharya or teacher who always travels for the benefit of human society. Prajapati Daksha cursed Narad Muni by saying that although he had the facility to travel all over the universe, he would never be able to stay in one place. In the Parampara system from Narad Muni, I have also been cursed. Haribol. Although I have many centers that would be suitable places of residence, I cannot stay anywhere, for I have been cursed by the parents of my young disciples. Since the Krishna consciousness movement was started, I have traveled all over the world 2 or 3 times a year. And although I am provided comfortable places to stay wherever I go, I cannot stay anywhere for more than 3 days or a week. I do not mind this curse by the parents of my disciples, but now it is necessary that I stay in one place to finish another task. This translation of Srimad Bhagavatam. If my young disciples, especially those who have taken sannyas, take charge of traveling all over the world, it may be possible for me to transfer the curse of the parents of these young creatures. Then I may sit down conveniently in one place for the work of translation. Verse number 44. Surya Prakash Rao Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sri Sukha Uvacha Pratijagrahadat Pandam Narada Sadhu Sammataha Etavan Sadhu Vadohi Titikshate Iswaraha Swayam. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you. Repti Ratnangi Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Pratijagraha Datudam Narada Sadhu Sammataha Etan Va Sadhu Vadohi Titi Sheta Ishvara Swayam. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Suramya Madhvi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Shri Shuka Uvacha Pratijagraha Tadbadham Narada Sadhu Sammataha Etavan Sadhu Vadohi Titikshete Swayam. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you. Sukanya Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sri Shuka Uvacha Pratijagraha Tadbadham Narada Sadhu Sammataha Etavan Sadhu Vadohi तितिक्षेतेश्वरः स्वयं. Hare Krishna
Very
Mataji.
nice. Thank you, Mataji Krishna. Pran Nandini Madhavi Mataji Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी प्रणाम माताजी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय श्रीशुक उवाच प्रतिजग्राह तत्पाठं नारदः साधु सम्मतः एतावान् साधुवादो हि तितिक्षेतेश्वरः स्वयं हरे कृष्ण माताजी थैंक यू माताजी
Thank you, Krishna. Uttama Padma Mataji, you have already recited, right?
No, Mataji.
Okay, go ahead. If you have already recited, then go ahead, Mataji.
No.
Hare Krishna.
श्रीशुक उवाच प्रतिजग्राह तद्भाडं नारदः साधु सम्मतः एतावान् साधुबोधो पादो हि तितिक्षेत् ईश्वर स्वयं हरे कृष्ण माताजी
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Shri Shukha Uvacha Prati Jagraha Tadbadham Narada Sadhu Sammataha Etavan Sadhu Vadohi Titikshete Swayam. Shri Sukha Uvacha. Shri Sukdev Goswami said, Prati Jagraha accepted, Tat that Badham, so be it, Narada, Narad Muni. Sadhu Sammataha, who is an approved sadhu, Etavan, this much, Sadhu Vada, appropriate for a saintly person. He indeed, Titiksheta, he may tolerate, Ishwar, although able to curse Prajapati Daksha, Swayam himself. Translation by His Divine Grace Shabad Ki Jai. Shri Sukdev Goswami continued, My dear king, once since Narad Muni is an approved saintly person, when cursed by Prajapati Daksha, he replied, Tad Badham, yes, what you have said is good. I accept this curse. He could have cursed Prajapati Daksha in return, but because he is a tolerant and merciful sadhu, he took no action. Purport by His Divine Grace Shabad Ki Jai. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 25th chapter, verse 21. Titiksha karunikaha surda sarvadehinam ajata shatrava shanta sadhava sadhu bhushanaha. The symptoms of a sadhu are that he is tolerant, merciful, and friendly to all living entities. He has no enemies, he is peaceful, he abides by the scriptures, and all his characteristics are sublime. Because Narad Muni is the most elevated of sadhus, devotees, to deliver Prajapati Daksha, he silently tolerated the curse. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught this principle to all his devotees. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna manina mandena kirtanyasta hari. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Following the orders of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one who preaches the glories of the Lord all over the world or all over the universe should be humbler than grass and more tolerant than a tree, because a preacher cannot live an easygoing life. Indeed, a preacher must face many impediments. Not only is he sometimes cursed, but sometimes he must also suffer personal injury. For example, when Nityananda Prabhu went to preach Krishna consciousness to the two roguish brothers, Jagai and Madai, they injured him and made his head bleed. But nevertheless, he tolerantly delivered the two rogues who became perfect Vaishnavas. This is the duty of a preacher. Lord Jesus Christ even tolerated crucifixion. Therefore, the curse against Narad was not very astonishing, and he tolerated it. Now it may be asked why Narad Muni stayed in the presence of Prajapati Daksha and tolerated all his accusations and curses. Was that for Daksha's deliverance? The answer is yes. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that after being insulted by Prajapati Daksha, Narad Muni should have left immediately. But he purposely stayed to hear all Daksha's strong words, so that Daksha might be relieved of his anger. Prajapati Daksha was not an ordinary man. He had accumulated the results of many past activities. Therefore, Narad Muni expected that after delivering his curse, Daksha, satisfied and freed from anger, would repent his misbehavior and thus get a chance to become a Vaishnava and be delivered. When Jagai and Madai offended Lord Nityananda stood tolerantly, and therefore both brothers fell at his lotus feet and repented. Consequently, they later became perfect Vaishnavas. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 6th canto, 5th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Narad Muni cursed by Prajapati Daksha. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyan Anjana Shalakaya Chaksharanmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahiyam Dadati Sapatatikam. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्ते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे इमां विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नाम्ने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे You have made me lose my sons once, and now you have again done the same inauspicious thing. Therefore, you are a rascal who does not know how to behave toward others. You may travel all over the universe, but I curse you to have no residence anywhere. Shri Sukdev Goswami continued, My dear king, since Narad Muni is an approved saintly person, when cursed by Prajapati Daksha, he replied, Tad Badham. Yes, what you have said is good. I accept this curse. He could have cursed Prajapati Daksha in return, but because he is a tolerant and merciful sadhu, he took no action. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, which is called as the prescribed duties of the mankind, and Prabhupada already revealed the name of the chapter, but just for the sake of continuation, the chapter is
Narada Muni cursed
Narad
by
Muni cursed by Prajapati Daksha.
Narad Muni cursed by Prajapati Daksha. So we were discussing yesterday that how everything we do, wrong or right, in action in the physical domain, is we are able to do because we have already justified it in the mind. It's already been justified. Mind has already gone through its permutation and combinations, arguments, counter arguments, and then the things happen. Okay, so when we are listening to all these arguments by Prajapati Daksha, we think that it makes no sense because he's actually very fortunate that all his sons are delivered by such a great saintly personality and have actually been successfully directed towards the main purpose of life, which is to become a pure devotee of the Lord. But if you look at it from the point of view of Daksha, he has, already analyzed and come to a conclusion that what he's going to do. So what did he do at the end? He cursed Narad Muni. What did he say to Narad Muni? Narad Muni said that because you have not been, you have taken my sons away from me, not once but twice, you have not let them settle down in their life. Now you're gonna be traveling all over the universe and will have no proper place to stay anywhere. And what is Prabhupada saying in that? Prabhupada is saying that because we come in the same parampara, we are also taking the curse. He said, I am also being cursed because I am because by the parents of my young disciples. And he wants to transfer the curse. You see, this is one thing that we have to make sure when we take initiation is that not that we only, of course, it's a mercy, but not that we only get the good things, but we also get the curse. A person born in a family not only inherits the good things of the family or the riches of the family, but also inherits the debts or also inherits the curses, right? So like that, when we take initiation in a particular parampara, we automatically become cursed. Now, the thing is that the advantage is that this curse is actually very beneficial to preach Krishna consciousness all over the world. So Prabhupada is writing, right? However, such a punishment is a boon for a preacher. So it depends on the perspective. Okay, it's really important to have a proper perspective in our execution of Krishna consciousness or in life in general, when we are trying to become Krishna conscious, is that what is the right perspective? One perspective could be that this is a very wrong thing, traveling everywhere. But another perspective is that this is extremely beneficial for a sannyasi, and the name given to such a sannyasi is Parivragacharya, right? There are different kinds of sannyasis, but this Parivragacharya sannyasi is a sannyasi who's always traveling from one place to another for the benefit of the human society. So this curse is a boon. Like that, one must not hesitate to take initiation into a bona fide parampara because there is a curse going around in that parampara. Because understand that Sukdev Goswami is saying that Nard Muni has such potency that he could have cursed Prajapati Daksha back, but he didn't do it. He just silently stood there and tolerated and actually said that Badham, very nice, like I accept the curse. He actually accepted the curse because there is a meaning. Okay, now Prabhupada is putting out an appeal in this that he needs to transfer this curse, especially to his young sannyasis, so that he can sit in one place for the sake of translation of Srimad Bhagavatam, and his disciples can carry out the curse, whatever that curse is, traveling all over the world to preach Krishna consciousness. So anybody who wants to be cursed like this, anybody who would like to take like ask Prabhupada, because if we ask Prabhupada to transfer this curse to us, he will transfer. Anybody? I think all of us should do that. Prabhupada give me this curse as well, so that I can also go around the whole world and preach the mission of Krishna consciousness. Because a devotee, a proper devotee takes the risk. Like he's saying, a devotee cannot have an easygoing life. Where does he say that? A devotee will never have an easygoing life. The next verse. So easygoing life means that we are not advancing properly. We can look at the life of all the exalted devotees and study their life. Give me some examples of
Parikshit
exalted.
Maharaj, Mataji.
Yeah, so he's not an easygoing life, right? Not his cursed to die.
He take curse from the
Very nice. Any more examples?
son of the
Yeah.
Rishi.
12 Mahajans.
Ambarish Maharaj.
Ambarish Maharaj, yes. So he was like the enviousness. He was victimized. Like the Durvasa Muni tried to victimize Ambarish Maharaj with his enviousness. Think of the 12 Mahajans. Okay, who else? Who else comes to your mind? A devotee of Krishna.
Yudhishthir Maharaj.
Jadavartha Mataji, Jadavartha.
Bharat
Yamaraj.
Maharaj.
Because that
Yamaraja.
king used to insult him.
Everybody is speaking
Correct.
over each other.
Okay.
So I heard Bharat Maharaj. Okay, it's a good example.
Yamaraj Mataji. Yamaraj.
How? How?
Vidura. His cousin.
Correct. Very nice. Correct. So Vidur had to bear so much insult. Usha Devati.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Chitraketu.
Yes, Chitraketu. Yes, Chitraketu also was cursed. Looks like an unnecessary curse by Mother Sati in a misunderstanding, but he accepted it nevertheless and became
Yes.
Vrishta.
Indradyumna became
Yes.
Gajendra.
Correct. So, but I think that was justified though, right?
Ah.
No?
Yes.
But anyhow, it was not an easy life. So when one becomes a devotee of Krishna, don't expect that there's going to be an easygoing life. Who said that? Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj said that 99.9% of people take to spirituality so that they can have comfortable life. Like this, okay, now I have a very pious life. My diet is simple. I get up early in the morning and my needs are minimized. I'm not a shopaholic. I don't eat in the restaurants. I don't waste my time in so many frivolous activities. So I am good. You see, that's mode of goodness, but that's not devotional service. Because devotional service is we take the risk. Like Prabhupada took the risk. He took the risk. So when we are tired, it is so difficult to preach Krishna consciousness or to even study Krishna consciousness or to even sit down and chant. All one wants to do is rest. But we don't hear Prabhupada getting tired or Prabhupada saying that I need a break. He needs a break. He's asking, I need a break. But why does he need a break? So that I may sit down conveniently in one place for the work of translation. You know, this is so different. Vaishnava Kriya Mudra is very difficult to understand by an ordinary person. Only another Vaishnava can have some sort of an insight as to what this Vaishnava is trying to do. Okay, and in this particular verse, the big question is answered. Remember, we were discussing yesterday that why Sukdev Goswami spending verses after verses. I actually asked this question to my friend today. She also said that you know, you have to understand that it's not an easygoing process. It's not that okay, now I've become Krishna conscious and my life is easygoing. Nah, it's more challenging. Take more risk, more challenge yourself more. So, but here the mystery is decoded. Why? Because of the sake of Prajapati Daksha. Because Narad Muni wanted to contain his anger so that after his anger is evaporated, he repents for his action. If he would have left the place, then Prajapati Daksha would not have gotten a chance to become an elevated Vaishnava. So it is the presence of Narad Muni that made him a Vaishnava. It is the presence of Nityananda Prabhu that gave Jagai and Madai a chance. And even though Nityananda Prabhu was attacked, right? Jesus Christ was crucified. Prabhupada is giving all these examples. So it's not going to be that we are going to tolerate, he's tolerating because he is a very elevated devotee and he wants to teach us the quality of tolerance. Yes, that's external. Yes, that's also needed. But the real reason is because of his presence, Daksha will get a chance to repent for his action once again. As if one time was not enough, you know. He disrespected the Lord Shiva in the first life. Now this person has disrespected Narad Muni. You see these and both the times a very great Vaishnava actually took him out from the dungeon of falling into the material mire. So we have to be so grateful. I feel very grateful to these personalities, Narad Muni, Lord Shiva, Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, so many acharyas, very, very grateful that they actually tolerated all the odds to give us what we have today. And how do we know that we are grateful? Just by using the words? I said, okay, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. How would one know that this particular devotee is really grateful for what they have? What they have received in Krishna consciousness? They're really, really grateful. How would you know? They will just talk about it, or there's going to be some
They
action
talk
item
about
attached?
only Krishna, other
Follow-
than nothing. Always
Follow
24/7,
the instructions.
they talk about only Krishna. They don't talk other things.
Okay. Follow the, okay, and then Prem
Always.
Prakash is Prabhu?
Follow the instructions of the acharyas.
Correct, correct. So this person, how do I know that I'm grateful? We'll take a risk. Okay, we'll develop this particular intense strength and faith in the parampara system that I'll be taken care of. My only duty is to preach Krishna consciousness. My only duty is to become Krishna conscious myself. Whatever time I have left in this particular life, in this particular body, under any circumstances, let me use it to become Krishna conscious because that's my only duty. So one way of knowing ourselves internally, there is a surrender. No, it all comes back to the whole circle of surrender. The surrender is external and internal. How do we know we are grateful? External surrender, we change the behavior. You know, getting up early in the morning, Mangalarti, chanting 16 rounds, 4 regulatory principles. Diet is changed. So you see, externally, these activities are visible. Internal part is something which is very difficult to work on, but nevertheless, we work on it. Right? Because we are situated in a material environment. We are situated most of the time in the environment which is not reminding us of our parampara 24/7. So how do we know? That's when the real gratitude comes into play, that I'm going to say yes to whatever is taking me to Krishna under any circumstance, and I'm going to say no to everything else. Okay, that's where the real struggle is. We might be externally, that's where the differentiation of a Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttamadhikari is. It's not the external surrender as much. It is important. But external surrender feeds our internal surrender. The more we follow externally, the more we develop determination to become more and more Krishna conscious internally. Okay, so it is all the process of awakening the real determination within the heart of each and every individual. What is the difference between a devotee and another devotee and another devotee and another devotee? They're all chanting 16 rounds. They all may have taken initiation as well. They all may be chanting Shastras, teaching, preaching, or studying Shastras on themselves, right? They all might be doing Mangaluru every day and Sunday program and giving donation. They might be doing all these things, but still there is a difference. What is that difference? What is the difference? Where is the difference?
Faith and determination.
Degree of surrender.
Faith and determination.
Yeah. So
Determination.
how much is one willing to take the risk? How much? Is external situation going to have so much power in my life that it is going to shake me from my real goal of life? Or the external situations are whatever they are. Like, for example, in this situation, Narad Muni is getting disrespected. Narad Muni is getting insulted. It is what it is, but I stood true to what is my own purpose. So Krishna consciousness brings us back to our own center. That's why I like Krishna consciousness. You need to have your own reasons to like what you do. Is like one of the reasons I really like Krishna consciousness and I don't want to give up is it brings you back to the center. Everything else in our life is taking us away from our center. Everything else. If we are studying too much, it takes us away from the center. If we are rich, if we are very rich, it takes us away from the center of our life. If we are very educated, it takes us away because it becomes, all these things become a matter of pride. If you are very famous, if you are very scholarly, if you have very nice analytical abilities, if you are very influential, very resourceful, all these things take us away, 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 away. And all the world, is trying to get all these qualities. All these, no, who wants to be poor? Anybody trying to be poor? Who wants to be not looking beautiful? Anybody? Who wants to not be influential, not be resourceful? Anybody? No. But then if we are not in Krishna consciousness, these things take away from our center, right? Nectar of Devotion gives example. Rupa Goswami gave example of the circles which are with many centers. Like each circle has its own center and those circles are not overlapping. But then he says you throw a stone in a quiet lake and then you see the ripples, the ripple effect, the circles, the inner circle, the outer circle, then the circle, bigger circle, bigger circle, bigger circle, but the center is the same. So Krishna consciousness brings us in between that. Okay, I am trying to be Krishna conscious. Yes, okay. Then one may have good education, but it is for the purpose of Krishna consciousness. Then one may be very rich for the purpose of Krishna consciousness. Then one may be very influential for the purpose of Krishna consciousness. And we have example from all these categories. And we have examples amongst the devotees right now also from all these categories. So many devotees with so many qualities. But the center is Krishna. That is why it becomes very eternal. It is Om Tat Sat. Quality becomes eternal, service become eternal, and the person who is serving also becomes eternal. So understand that Narad Muni is a very merciful acharya, epitome of mercy. We cannot imitate. But we cannot imitate this level of Trinadapi Sunichana Tarori Vasaishna. That's another class in itself. Cannot. But we can at least pray. Because remember I said yesterday that one of the benchmarks of a person who is elevated to Bhava Bhakti stage is ability to forgive. Okay, ability to forgive, and it's very easy for them. It's not an effort. It's not that I myself have to go through counseling and be able to say and then do a public announcement that I'm forgiving. It's very easy for them. Like it is so easy for Narad Muni to forgive Daksha. Tad badham. Yes, what you have said is good. I accept this curse. Amrish Maharaj, very easy to forgive. Parikshit Maharaj, very easily he forgave. Arjun, very easily he forgave. Even before the war started, it was not difficult for him to forgive the Kauravas, whatever they did. Krishna does not forgive, that's another thing. So we have a very golden opportunities. Please realize, because anything can happen at any time. We don't understand that how powerful and how true the words of the Shastras are. Anything can happen at any time. And then let's not, repent that, oh, I wish I had used my time in a more productive manner to become more Krishna conscious. No, become Krishna conscious now, right now. Okay. And how to become Krishna conscious? First, start with chanting. Because the magic is in the chanting. If one is chanting sincerely, 16 rounds a day minimum, there is no way that they're not going to advance in Krishna consciousness. If you're reading Srila Prabhupada's books, if you're chanting, you are going to end up in ISKCON. Even though one may be living in Timbuktu, you'll still end up with the devotees. You'll still end up. Okay, I reheard the lecture of that Rupa Goswami. Shubhara Prabhu was answering your question, right? That how Rupa Goswami finally, what was the final string that actually made him surrender to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? And remember that overnight ride that he was going in a plantain on the summon of the king, and then it was a bad weather, and then he heard husband and wife talking, and the husband was asking the wife that who with the sane mind will be traveling at this hour and at this weather. And the wife said, I don't know, but it could only be one of the three things: a thief, a slave, or a dog. And Rupa Goswami overheard it, and then he said that I am all three. And then he surrendered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's when he started dividing his riches into three divisions. Any questions, reflections, realizations, corrections? Understand, we decoded that it was for the purpose of Prajapati Daksha that Narad Muni stayed. It is the quality of Narad Muni that he is extremely merciful, that he is able to actually see beyond the fog of anger, cloud of anger that is clouding Prajapati Daksha at the moment. And he's very fixed in his purpose, very, very fixed in his purpose of serving Krishna. And the curse that he has been given by Prajapati Daksha is going on in his parampara. Prabhupada said he's cursed, and Prabhupada wants to give this curse to all of us. Let us accept this curse. Don't worry. Just don't worry. Just pray to Prabhupada, give me that curse. I want to do it too. Any questions, reflections?